In the east, the kilns go cold. The snow falls thick on the mold. Smiths once called with bellows wide, now count the coals, the flame denied. Southward still, the fire holds true, but shifts its path away from you. The ore has legs, it moves unseen, a nomad vein through friction means. The ore runs thin, the sparks fall low. We used to strike, now we must know. Shape not with heat, but sharper eye, and forge what's left before we die. The ore runs thin, but the fire sings still. The ore runs thin, but the fire sings still. Midwest cracks like tempered steel, enrollment brittle, yield unreal. West winds scatter forge-born youth, north retreats from forged truths. What if the flame was never ours? What if the mold must learn new powers? Adult hands, foreign heat, the billet bends when pressure meets. The ore runs thin, the sparks follow. We used to strike, now we must know. Shape not with heat, but sharper eye, and forge what's left before we die. The ore runs thin, but the fire sings still. The ore runs thin, but the fire sings still. Not every forge fails when the ore runs out. Some learn to shape the wind instead.
clicked submit, and then nothing. Portal silent, aid unseen. School said wait, I waited. Calendar cracked like a blade.
12 calls a day, and still no keys. Essay failed, no clarity. Just help me file. They cry and plead, but I don't know what help they need. Billows jammed, no air to feed. Sparks still glow, but not with speed. The forge misfires, the intake bends. We patch, we push, we mend again. FAFSA fail, but we remain. Bellows jammed, but still we flame. My model broke at line 16. No aid file, no yield to glean. The funnel warped, the inbox froze. The melt came early, nobody knows. Late data, no status. Partial file, wrong campus. Who are we helping? How do we know? Where is the signal? Will they still go? Bellows jammed, the heat runs wild. Still we swing for every child. FAFSA crashed, but we adapt. The fire bends, but doesn't snap. Bellows jammed, but still we flame. Bellows jammed, and still we flame. We forge what we can, even when the air fails. The ore once flowed in steady names from boards and scans and testing games.
furnace once roared with belief, a path, a promise, a future brief. But now the flame is thinned by cost, and many wonder what we've lost.
We built too high, too slow to bend, prestige without a means to end. The wells were pretty, but not sound. Now death rings louder than the gown. The anvil cracks not with a scream, but with a sigh inside the dream. If trust breaks once, it may return. If left ignored, it starts to burn. The anvil cracks. We must relearn. I paid the cost, I bore the weight, but the door stayed closed, a future late. I scroll my loans like prayer beads now, and wonder why, and wonder how. The forge must show, not tell. The anvil cracked, but not destroyed. From hollow ring we shape the void. With proof not pitch, we stoke the heat and forge again where doubt meets need. The anvil cracked, but we still beat.
There's a kiln behind the cafe now, a furnace in the mall. They're forging creds in nightclubs and skills behind paywalls. The guild says stick to standards, the student says what for, when I can stack my skill set without your iron door. You can't own the flame, you can't gate the spark. The bellows breathe in alleyways and still ignite the dark. You can't own the flame, it's bigger than your name. The learner builds their blade alone, many kilns, one flame. Badges from the Baron of Blockchain, a boot camp run by ghosts. Google grants a grimoire while professors make their posts. The catalog is cracking, the tuition's torn and burned. I learn from many masters now, and not just what you've earned. You can't own the flame or file the fire's claim. The knowledge flows in fragments now, but still it finds its aim. You can't own the flame, the guild must share the game. The forge is now a constellation, many kilns, one flame. one came. But I came anyway. I came with torch and tongue. I came to shape my future from the shards of what you flung. You can't own the flame. You can't stall the tide. I'll take my class at midnight and wear my badge with pride. You can't own the flame. Let it rise untamed. The world is now a forge of minds. Many kilns, one flame.
Rolled out the model with the usual flair, cross-tabbed and glowing in slate sterile glare. The funnel looked fine, the score line was gold, but the yield came in cold, so cold. You said 95% likely. They ghosted me politely. The call was scheduled nightly, but the calendar's still clean. Hard fail, soft launch, another cycle, dreams the third. Metrics hum the siren song, but no one hears a word. We bet the clash on trend lines, on models we rehearsed, and now we count the silence in every empty verse. The clicks don't click, the opens lie, the melt begins before July. FAFSA's late, the inbox still, the only thing predictive's chill. I watch the dashboard flicker, stall, flame once bright, now logs a call. I ask it why, it shows a chart, then blames me for the parts. I fail, soft launch, a cycle built on ghosts. The formula knew everything except the part that most needed feeling, needed grace, needed someone on the line. I built a perfect model, I forgot the time. Incident report, misread engagement. He modeled last year's FAFSA timing, ignored counselor notes, assumed the emoji meant yes. Bet against the fog, blame the weather. Hey, it's just wanted to say, I don't think they're coming. The portal hasn't lit up in weeks. Hard fail, soft launch, and still I check the score. The model never answered, but I ask it more and more. There's fire in the system, but it's not the kind we need. Just sparks from faulty memory, still trying to mislead.
They said I'd feel a They said I'd feel carried the credits, the jobs, the ache, held office hours through panic and shakes. I smiled in class and I logged in on time, but the thoughts in my inbox weren't always mine. I flagged your file, I saw the dip, but my caseload's grown, I lost my grip. You missed 2 weeks, I sent a note, then moved to yield the next reminder. Where are the signs when you quietly go? What metric tells us a student's in pain? What system counts tears as part of the strain? Mental loadout, armor too thin, carrying expectations carved into skin. I burned and I smiled and I stayed in the class, but the weight in the forge shattered glass. Please complete the form to access support. Your next appointment is available in 6 weeks. Student has stopped responding to portal nudges. Counselor to student ratio 1 to 1200. I walk the halls, but I don't know names. I triage pain like putting out flames. They cry in rooms we couldn't soundproof, then vanish from rosters like vanishing truth. Mental loadout, burdened and brave, marching through syllabi none of us gave. I showed up, I signed and I gave it my best, but the forge has no space for rest.
We saw them, we missed them.
We named the fire but forgot the fuel.
They held on, they slipped through.
We can't fix this with another tool. They said I'd feel
I sold the dream and shaped the class. I hit my mark, I beat the past. But every gain comes with a crack. The revenue leaks and won't come back. Spreadsheets smile, but the furnace lies. The net we cast is frayed with size. We grew the head count, raised the rate, but underneath we seal our fate. The budget will break before
tuition trajectory declining, auxiliary shortfall, endowment restricted, capital project pause, furlough enacted.
They called it merit, called it need, labeled every line a generous deed. But the ledger bleeds where the mission sleeps, and the mold's too warped to keep. Families scroll, compare then flee to whoever discounts more desperately. The steel was strong, but now it's split. You can't rebate your way out of it. This is the discount inferno, where every swing is paid. We've gilded the furnace and auctioned the blade. We're not forging futures, we're bribing the fade. In the discount inferno we a smile, a sticker lie, a handshake price, a FAFSA cry. They wanted help, we sold them hope, wrapped in discount envelopes. Net tuition, flat and thin, still we throw more merit in. Prestige by aid is prestige on loan, and the payments come when the class is gone. This is the discount inferno, where every swing is paid. We've gilded the furnace and auctioned the blade. We're not forging futures, we're bribing the fade. In the discount inferno we made. Yeah! Boost the wood, push the range. But we've got nothing left to exchange. Hey, boss, discount higher, yield might spike. But mission's not a market spike. Data says more aid will lure and break what little we ensure. The catalog reset, the price fell low, but perception didn't follow. and cost becomes a whisper joke. The trust is gone in every quote. We gave till margins cracked and snapped. Still enrollment maps look trapped. The offer bloomed, the budget burned. The lesson posted but never learned. This is the discount inferno, where every swing is pain. We've gilded the furnace and auctioned the blade. We're not forging futures, we're bribing the vain. In the discount inferno we can't reforge steel with coupons. You can't buy trust back once it's cracked. You don't reset the flame, you rebuild the forge.
The hammer hangs above the flame, the bench is set, the bellows tame. The steel is hot, the coal's still red, but all the smiths have gone instead. Once they stood with steady hand, now the post is shifting sand. Searches stall and chairs stay warm, no one steps into the store.
This is the unstruck anvil, where silence dulls the blade. The fire waits for leadership, but none will take the grade. Not silence, not failure, just no one to strike.
The flame still burns, the bench is too light.
Is too light. Interims hold the line alone, guiding sparks through tempered stone. Faculty bend with every cry, while student hopes flicker and die. The blueprints drawn, the coals are fed, but courage flinched and wisdom fled. Lord, expect what hearts can't give, a forge where no one wants to live. This is the unstruck anvil, where silence dulls the blade. The fire waits for leadership, but none will take the grade. Not silence, not failure, just no one to strike. The flame still burns, the bench is too light. Effective immediately, I will be stepping down. The board and I reached a mutual decision. This is not the role I once believed it to be. I no longer feel I can lead with purpose. We waited for the hero's hand, but found instead the ash and sand.
return not to the past, but to the coals that still hold fast. If no one comes to strike the steel, then we must shape the fire we feel. Shared hands, shared heat, a forge restored. No lone flame keeper, but a horde. We are the smiths, the ones who stay. The anvil calls, we strike today.
Futures bright, not waiting, not fearing, but stepping to ignite. The flame still burns. Now we hold the
Systems online. Welcome to the Forge logic layer. Strike protocol detected.
There's a whisper in the workflow, a rhythm in the noise. Where once we swung by instinct, now we sculpt with choice. It reads the yield before we see, it flags the melt in line. But even tools that think in sparks still need a forge design. This is the thinking hammer, it learns before it lands. It doesn't just obey the fire, it scans your trembling hands. It sharpens strategy, it bends the stubborn plan. But it still needs the wielder, still asks where to stand. The chatbot types at midnight, the CRM refines behavior maps in real time as students drop their signs. The human touch is rarer now, but even more precise. The algorithm sets the pace, we calibrate the ice.
Forge system. Inquiry nudge initiated confidence score 72%. Human Smith. Wait, that student lost their dad last week. Forge system.
Emotion signal detected, rerouting to counselor.
Human Smith.
Good tools serve people, not the other way around. Listen. This is the thinking hammer. It learns before it lands. It watches, weighs, and whispers, but never takes command. It sharpens messages, it scores a shifting band. But it still needs intention, still needs your hand. So code the path and train the model, let it parse the flame. But don't forget the artistry or how you knew their name. We forge with data, sure, but more, we forge with listening still. AI will find the moment, but you must bring the way.
fear unsaid.
AI doesn't shape the steel. You do. The furnace just got smarter. So strike with care.
The embers glow from distant shores. They bring the heat we can't ignore. But winds have shifted fast and wide. What once came in now turns aside. We chase the flame, not watch the mold. We took the gold and called it bold. But now the forge creaks under strain from fuel that falls like summer rain. This is the global bellows, where fire moves with tides. It surges, swells, and disappears across our forge divides. Don't trust the wind to hold you. Don't build on flames alone. The global bellows hums today. Tomorrow it is gone. India climbs with burning speed, while China cools, no longer leads. Nigeria knocks with steady hand. Ghana sparks across the sand. But visas clamp and embassies close, and rival forges draw the flows. We built our house on shifting breath and called it strength instead of death. This is the global bellows. It roars beyond your reach. You cannot write a yield plan in only one tongue speech. You build with what you steward, not just with what arrives. The forge must brace for every gust or fracture when it thrives.
Visa denied. We're pursuing other global opportunities. Travel subsidy offered by Hong Kong University. Program paused due to embassy delays. We just want to feel safe.
Let the forge breathe. Let the flame hold.
Shape with care.
Not just gold.
Amen.